Okay, so first of all you want 500 grams of plain flour. Then into that you want a tablespoon of salt. Give that salt a mix in. Then prepare yourself 325 millilitres of warm water. And I keep that at a temperature of 34 degrees. Then add 7 grams of fast action dried yeast, like so. Give that a wee stir in until it's all dissolved. Usually takes a couple of minutes just for it all to dissolve properly. So while you're waiting on that, come back over to your flour, grab yourself a spoon for mixing and just create yourself a little well to pour that water into, like so. Okay, now that's all dissolved, you just take that, pour it straight into the centre. Then you want to bring that all together. Once you've brought it all together, you shouldn't have any more dry mix there. It should all be one sort of elasticy, sticky, doughy lump. Sprinkle some flour onto the worktop. Empty your dough on top of that. And put a little light sprinkle over the top of it. That's just to stop it sticking to your hands until you start to work and knead the dough. So then you start working it, guys. As you see, you start squeezing it all together. Now, a lot of people will traditionally show you, how to stretch and pull and fold. I don't do my dough like that. I just simply roll it into a large sausage and keep pushing down and spreading it out, as you can see here. Once it gets out so far, one fold, two fold, squeeze it down, keep working it in like that. Create another big long sausage type shape. I find this works best for me, and this is why I always do it this way. If it starts to get a wee bit sticky, which it will at first again, just roll it into the flour a little bit, and that prevents it from getting too sticky to work with your hands. And again, you can see I'm just squeezing and compacting and rolling it out again and again. I'll do this about 10 times and then we'll move on to the next stage. And so after 10 or so repetitions, you just do a final one of rolling it and turning it into a ball. It'll still feel sticky and tacky, but that's what you want. Once you get it rolled into a big ball, you're going to cut that into 4 segments. I'll just use the back of a knife. Spin it around, and there we have 4 equal sizes. Each one of those will create about a 12 to 13 inch pizza. Just separate each one, roll it into a ball, and then place them onto a tray. Just like so, and space them a good 3 inches apart. Also, I might add that at this stage, some people will use olive oil or vegetable oil. I personally don't use any oil at all. I don't think it's needed, and I actually think that you get a more flavoursome pizza at the end without any oil usage. Cover with a damp cloth. Just very slightly damp cloth. Just soak it in cold water, then cover them up, and that just stops the surface of the dough from drying out. You want to take this now and put it in a warm area. If you've got sun coming through your window and the sunlight's casting over this tray, then that's ideal. If you haven't got that, just put them in your warmest room in the house or near anything that's creating the warmest temperature in the house, and leave it for 2 hours. Okay, so that has been exactly 2 hours since I laid these down to rest, and as you can see now, they have puffed up very nicely. Now what I would normally do, if it was just for me, is I'd use one of these and I would bag the other 3, and they would last in the fridge for up to 3 days. So if I wanted to, I could have pizza 3 days in a row. If you don't want to do that, you just need to take all the ingredients that I showed you, quarter it, and make up one pizza at a time. So next stage is to just get this off the tray here. Again, it'll still be quite sticky and tacky. So what I do is I'll work it off the tray. It's sticking to the other one there, but here you are. Just got to be kind of quick with your movements. Quick roll, and then I put it onto semolina. I always keep a tub of semolina for doing my pizza bases. So you just coat it in the semolina, like so, and that makes it easier to work it and stops it being so sticky. So there you are. That's now coated into a ball. Again, I'll put some more semolina on it, and then I can start to roll that base out. So what I'll do is just put a little sprinkle of semolina on the worktop. Again, it's just to stop it sticking, and then just press it down like so, all round. A little bit more semolina on the top, rub it over, and I'll just roller pin that to the size I need it to be, which is to fit on this tray. So you just want to gently roll it out. Don't be too vigorous or forceful. You just want to gradually roll this in all directions to expand it and make it wide enough to fit that tray. It doesn't have to be perfectly circular, as long as it's evenly spread out and you've got the same thickness over the whole base. It's really not that difficult to do. Every now and again, flip it and just give it fresh wee coats of semolina. That just stops it sticking to the worktop and sticking to the roller. You'll feel it if it's needing more semolina, you'll feel it starting to stick either above or below, and you'll know to coat it a little bit more, flip it over and start spreading it out again, like I'm doing just here. See, I can see that, see it's warping there, so it's starting to stick just under there, you see. So I'll just do this side first, and flip it over, and then put more on this side, and it's just that process over and over again until you get it to the size you need it to be to fit the tray. So you don't have to be an expert to make absolutely delicious pizza. You just have to take your time and follow the same set of instructions, and you'll get the same result each and every time you make it. There you are, that's looking about the right size now. So it's just a case of transferring that over to the tray. Now before we start our pizza, roughly 15 minutes before you're intending to cook, you want to put your oven on maximum temperature. These are pizza stone bases, and you just put that in your oven, it heats up, it goes very nice and hot, so when you put your pizza on it, it starts to cook from the bottom and the top all at the same time, and you can basically get a pizza within minutes. Lovely fresh, that is just as equally as good, if not better, than restaurant pizza. Now the fun begins. So you just shape it into the tray, just so that it's nice and round pizza. Just try and tease the edges up a little bit. That just stops things melting and running off to the sides. There we are. Lovely. A lot of people would stab their base at this point, but I don't, because I do a nice thin base on my pizzas and it cooks through just perfect. Okay, the next thing I do is I add my tomato base. It's just a very basic tomato pizza base. I just buy this in cartons and there's nothing fancy about it. It's just basically blended down tomato, which is ideal for the type of pizza that I'm doing. Don't want heavy sauces on this. What I do is, the reason I buy it like that is I have these ice cube trays and I fill them up with the carton of the tomato and I can freeze it. That way whenever I want to do a pizza, I just need 3 of these cubes and that does a full pizza base. So that's why I do it that way, because rather than flinging away half a carton of tomato base, I can freeze it. It makes more sense to get your value for your money. So obviously I took these out earlier so that they would defrost in time for making the pizza. So all I need of this is a few tablespoons, usually about 2.5. That's roughly about the 3 cubes. And I just spread that evenly around the base. I say nothing too thick, you just want it a nice even spread right up to the edge of the pizza. Here we are, simple as that. Now comes all the flavours to build on that, and I like to use some dry ingredients first. I get a little sprinkle of dried garlic powder, and what I do is I just sprinkle that evenly all around the whole base. Like so. Then I get these dried onion granules. You can see that. You can use the powder as well, which is evenly flavourable, but I like the little small granules because they give more texture. So again, you just put a little spread of those around the base. Like so. Then I like to evenly shake dried basil all over the base as well. Like that. Then I add a little layer of cheese. So for that I just use grated mozzarella cheese. And the first one I'm going to do today is probably what is the most favourite pizza in the world, which is pepperoni. Now again, because I can freeze it and defrost it when I like, I just buy it in packs like this, already sliced. You just want to evenly spread those out over the entire surface. Then finish that off with more grated mozzarella. Second last thing I put over that is a shake of dried chives. Stick that in the oven for approximately 6 minutes. There we go, 6 minutes later, and it smells and looks, and it will definitely taste absolutely delicious. But we're not finished yet. Get some finely ground Parmesan cheese and sprinkle it all over the top, guys. Just add to that flavour. There we have it. Some beautiful thin based pepperoni pizza. But don't go anywhere, because I've got another 2 pizzas to show you. And my special seasoned chips. Okay, so 2 more pizza bases prepared, one here, one over there, and I will show you what I'm going to do on these ones. Again, it's just the same principle with the dried additives. Dried garlic, dried onion granules, the dried basil. Okay, this topping, this is my own homemade tandoori chicken marination. I will put out another video to show you exactly how I make that, but that's what this pizza is going to be, tandoori chicken. So I just spread that around nice and evenly. Again, this tandoori chicken, I make it in large batches, then I freeze it and I can just take it out whenever I fancy a tandoori chicken pizza. Mozzarella cheese, not too little, not too much, you just want a nice spread. There we go, and final layer of dried chives. That one's ready now to go in the oven, 6 minutes. This one's the vegetarian pizza. It's got all the usual dried ingredients on the base, then I put a very thin layer of mozzarella cheese on, then it's finely chopped red and green peppers, thinly sliced red onion, then you evenly spread that out. Then get little cherry tomatoes, cut them into segments of 4, evenly spread it over the pizza. Another layer of cheese, and a couple of more things after that. Dried chives. There you go, pizza number 2. Getting its sprinkle of parmesan. That is the chicken tandoori. Wow. Guys, honestly, I can't tell you in words how good that smells. And the flavour of this one floats my boat. And I will give you the recipe for that tandoori chicken. Just bear with me, it's coming. The vegetarian pizza also gets a sprinkle of cheddar cheese as well as the mozzarella. Oh, I nearly done myself an injustice there. The vegetarian supreme. Again, just finish that off with a lovely generous sprinkle of parmesan. And let me tell you what goes excellent with these 3 pizzas is some delicious sweet chilli sauce and my own homemade seasoned fries, which I will put a video up and show you how I make those and what goes into them to make them so delicious. So until next time, get it scoffed.